What name should I give to this project on the channel? It's up to you in the end, I think. No such thing as a latte. Hello everyone and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex and I'm more than happy to have you all with me today. It's a very exciting video, but before diving into the topic, which is, here you can already see it, let me just quickly present you a project that I would like to have here on the channel. You all really appreciated the very data-driven analysis on the shoe battle between the Rebel V2 and the Hoka Mach 4, and so I would like to take this one step further and do the same, but with the super shoes, the carbon plated shoes that are available on the market. My idea is to do this on a quarterly basis, so 4 times a year at the end of each quarter. This would happen in the coming days for Q1 of 2021. But I need you to let me know if you're interested and how you would see this. My idea is basically to take all the shoes that have been released during a quarter and all the other shoes that are older but that are still relevant in the market for carbon plated shoes, and then go out, do a test run with all of them at the same time and gathering data and then sharing it with you so that you have a better idea of which shoe would work the best. There are lots of shoes that released and many more are coming, so I think the quarterly basis can work well, but this is also up to you. And then in terms of naming, this could be some sort of stock take or state of play or of carbon plated shoes. Or I don't know, maybe something like the situation, the situation. I have no idea, really. It's up to you. It's also your channel in a way, as I like to say. So please jump in the comment section and let me know the way you would like me to shape this. I would be more than happy to release these videos 4 times in a year and with the very data-driven way that you have all enjoyed. Without no further ado, let's dive in today's topic, the Asics MetaSpeed Sky. Of course, this shoe would definitely be part of the new format that I just suggested to you. I got the MetaSpeed Sky last week and I took it yesterday for a tempo type of workout. So I started warming up around that 4:15 minutes per kilometer. I will put the conversion in minute per miles somewhere on the screen, and then ended the warm-up around that 4 minutes per kilometer pace and did my tempo around 3:30 per kilometer, and the final 400 meters I went kind of all out, or the all out that you can do after a tempo. It was somewhere in that 3:08, 3:10 minutes per kilometer pace. These paces are not necessarily your paces, but They can translate for your 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon pace. That's pretty much all I have covered myself yesterday during my workout, ranging from that marathon pace somewhere below 4 minutes per kilometer down to 5K type of pace. Let's break in the shoe very quickly. The stats. I weighted the shoe at 212 grams in my size US 11 EU 45. So yeah, I went true to size. I will come back to that when discussing the fit. Asics is claiming a stack height in the heel of 33 millimeters and 28 in the forefoot. However, I measured, and I will put the pictures on the screen right now, the stack height in the heel at 39 and in the forefoot at 34, or even a little below this. So indeed 5 millimeters drop, but I think there is more stack than what Asics claims. I have no idea why this is. In terms of upper, we have this engineered monomesh type of upper. It's very thin, very flexible, very breathable, I can tell you. And in terms of comparison, although I don't want to do that too much because of what is coming up in terms of big comparison between carbon plated shoes, it's the type of upper that you can find on the Adidas Adios Pro. At least that's how I felt it, both in terms of texture, feel on the feet, and yeah, breathability and all that stuff is very reminiscent of the Adios Pro. Now the heel, you have a very comfortable heel, no issues whatsoever for me. The padding comes at the top of the heel counter, is generous in terms of padding without adding too much weight to the shoe. It's a great heel counter and heel collar, maybe my favorite one among the carbon plated shoes, although again, I don't want to go too much into a comparison between this one and the other carbon plated shoes. The heel lockdown and color is very good and I really enjoyed it. And overall, I must say that I was very pleased with the fit of the shoe. I went through the size US 11 EU 45 and I had a fit that was adjusted without being snug, that had enough volume to put those medium thick socks that you would put on race day. And I still had plenty of length in the forefoot. I mean, plenty for a race day shoe, so that half centimeter, maybe a bit less, but exactly what you need. No issues in terms of width on the feet. As you know, my pinkies can be quite sensitive, so if the width is fine for me and if the upper works well with that width, I'm more than happy, and not to have any issues or rubbing with my pinkies. No such thing here, no rubbing, so that was great. The tongue is really thin, and as you can see, it has all those little holes in it, probably to reduce the weight, also to help all the sweat come out and overall have something very lightweight. It works very well. It's not gusseted at all, but the lockdown in the midfoot is still very good, and that's probably due to the very good upper that helps have that nice wrap around midfoot. Great from that perspective. Overall, I'm very pleased with the fit, so that's a good thing, because obviously for a race day shoe you want to have the most dialed in fit that can be. Also, I should mention that the upper is 100% recycled polyester. Asics is committing to using more and more 100% recycled materials, and we can only give them kudos for that. That's a fantastic thing to do nowadays. It's the case with this upper, so I'm really pleased to have this quality of upper, and it's also 100% recycled, so that's fantastic. The midsole is the first of its kind Flight Foam Turbo. All those names with the Turbo, Supra, Extra, Mega are quite funny, but this is a turbo one, Flight Foam Turbo. It's a nylon-based midsole, similar to the other PIBA midsoles like on the Zoom X of the Vaporfly, Alphafly. You can feel it by touch. Although it doesn't say much of how a midsole will behave, but you can feel it's that same family of midsoles. As you can see, there is quite some width in terms of platform for the midsole in the forefoot, less so in the heel, and we'll come back to that when we'll discuss the ride, but that's something I was very happy with. Not too much width in the heel, so lower weight, not for heel strikers probably, or less so, and more in the midfoot where you have all that fantastic toe off and propulsion that kicks in. Now for the outsole, you have the Asics grip on it. You have plenty of rubber with those holes that go from the top to the bottom on the outside. So the shoe seems to be made for people striking forefoot and laterally on the outside. I'm more than happy with it. As you have seen on my shoe prints, that's the type of foot strike that I have, so I'm more than happy with the placement of the rubber. Now for people who have more of a pronation or different type of foot strikes, I believe they're also covered, but it's maybe less ideal for them, but it can work, you know. You have that extra pad here, adding some stability and allowing for a bit of pronation at the end of the foot strike, at least for me. So same here, works perfectly. And as I mentioned in the Asics Trabuco Max video, the Asics grip is phenomenal. You have a great traction, and that's very important for a shoe that is meant to go fast. You need to have that grip to literally grip the pavement, the concrete on which you're running, and use all the nice energy return of the shoe. Without a good grip on the carbon bladed shoe, you cannot go that fast, and it's crucial. So here you have it, and it's working very well. Now the ride, and it's gonna be very interesting. As I mentioned, I took the shoe at very different paces, and I must say the shoe likes to go fast. It likes the speed. That's how I felt it. It felt really great around that half marathon 10K pace for me. It could be a marathon shoe, no worries whatsoever, but I think the sweet spot is around that half marathon pace or 10K pace, depending, somewhere in between, maybe 10 miles, you know. How to describe the ride? The ride is soft, but bear with me. It's not soft like plush. It's soft because I think the Flight Foam Turbo, like all those nylon-based PIBA type of foams, are on the soft side of things. But here on this shoe, the carbon plate plays a big role because it must be very stiff, probably very rigid, and it gives that fantastic spring to the shoe. So you have a soft ride combined with a very stiff and rigid plate, and the combination is a softer ride than you may find on a Vaporfly, for instance, with the same amount of energy return. So, you know, a bit softer, but that same energy return, which overall is, I must say, a very pleasing combination. Bear in mind that this shoe likes to go fast. I can imagine that some people watching this will hear soft and will think, okay, so I can take this shoe at slower paces, it will feel cushioned and nice. Honestly, I don't think so. For me, this shoe would not work for those long runs where you're doing the endurance type of pace, and it would be too slow basically for this shoe. In terms of stability, I think it's probably one of the most stable carbon plated shoes out there at the moment, but again, I don't want to spoil too much of the fantastic shoe comparison between all the carbon plated shoes that's coming up. But still, I think it's one of the most stable, probably because of that balanced midsole between the softness and the rigid plate, which is, you know, it's not too bouncy, it's not too plush, it's not unstable when cornering, and the heel lockdown and the overall lockdown of the feet in the shoe is great and is helping with the stability. So it's a very stable racing shoe. There's no question for it. Now, in terms of drawbacks, I would mention the laces that are really long. I don't know if you can see them, but they're like 25 centimeters long. They're really too long. Asics, come on, who needs 25 centimeters to lace their shoes? That's just crazy. So laces are a drawback, but it's not a big deal. And second drawback would be the price. Now, you know, in absolute terms, of course, 250 euros, $250 is way too much for a shoe for runners, but compared to other carbon plated shoes, it's in the ballpark. So while being very high, it's probably the price you need to pay to have this type of shoe. And when it comes to, you know, which shoe I want to take to beat my PR, my PB, whatever you call them, it may be a contender. And the mere fact that it's a contender makes me think Very good job, Asics. You have a shoe that finally can level up with the best two shoes out there, meaning the Vaporfly and the Adios Pro. So now you have just one thing to do. First, if you want to subscribe, please make sure you do so. I would be more than happy to have you with us. And then please comment and let me know, are you interested in the super carbon plated shoe battle that will happen 4 times in a year quarterly on the channel? And if yes, what name should I give to this project on the channel? It's up to you in the end, I think. And yeah, I mean, I think the project is interesting in the sense that it will allow us to have objective data to compare the shoes in terms of stability, bounciness, energy return. Whatever you want, we can have so many data points that we can literally, dissect all the segments of these shoes and of the way we're using them for training racing and determine which one is the most appropriate for a certain distance, for a certain type of runner. And this is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to reading your comments and your thoughts on this idea, on this shoe if you already tried it or if you're willing to buy it. In the meantime, enjoy your run today or your ride or any activity you will be doing. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Maybe it will be the super shoe battle or another review or something else. We shall see. Have a good day. Bye bye.